So many players come to the court and immediately they want to work on the Vibora, and then they go and stand on the right hand side. So this video we're going to cover what you should be doing with your overheads on the right hand side of the court, and do you ever use the Vibora as a right court player? If you watch the World Padel Tour, the majority of the right court players rarely use a Vibora. This is an exception obviously for left-handers would, but the right-handers on the right-hand side, they're not really using the Vibora because they don't have the opportunity very often. Part of the reason that they don't have that opportunity is, as a right court player, their job is strategic and to develop the points for the left side player to win the point, but also often the ball is coming over their left shoulder from their close side. It rarely comes down that line and ends up being short for their Vibora here. And so understanding where you hit your different overheads on this side of the court is really, really important. Now let's have a little look at one of the lessons that we've recently done. Yeah, back more. Yeah, there you go, and in. Last time we talked about not hitting the Vibora for everything, right? And so now we're talking about if the ball is coming from the cross and it's coming over your head, then you do contact a little bit higher to hit the ball down to the glass. But if you've got time, then you do want to still take that step back, because the further back you are and the further to your side, the more you're going to be able to keep the ball low at the other end. Okay. So this one that's a bit higher is kind of between a gancho and a bandeja, right? Because you're aiming, the contact's a bit higher and you're aiming down to the fence. Okay. But if you do have time, it's better to be slightly further back and to take a little bit lower to the side, and that way you can hit slice.
Okay, but it doesn't become a Vibora from back there?
It doesn't become a Vibora from back there. It will never be well.
Is it like a soft, as in the technique of it?
Not really from the right. The right, you're unlikely to hit that unless you might play one down the line, for example. But to play a Vibora soft, like cross like this, is unnecessarily risky. Okay. You've got to have a bandeja that you can make like, 90 times out of 100. And those ones, it's already looking comfortable, the way you're coming down on that, even if the contact is a bit higher. So there's almost no sense for you to risk. No. Unless it's an easy ball and it's short and you hit a Vibora, most of these, exactly what you're doing into the fence or into that side glass is perfect. Okay. Good. Good. Amy, when this ball's coming over your, just one second, over your left shoulder, is very difficult for you to do like a tennis style smash and keep it down, right? So this is a bit like we were just saying with Abby, like that's a gancho on like over here. You really are just trying to block it down, like Abby's doing to you off that glass or fence there, because this will inevitably bounce up. Yeah. Interestingly, that's the Vibora. Like this is something like the same, right? This zone here is Vibora. Like that was so far to your right that you can do a Vibora on that. This is the side that's like gancho, and then this is in the middle, kind of bandeja. Yeah. Good. Good. If you were going to do it without the ball, can you just show me a gancho and show me a bandeja? Like how would they differ?
Well, normally I would hit the bandeja like this.
Yeah, I know.
And at the head height.
Yeah.
Eye height.
Yeah.
But this one I never really play because this player always takes it.
Yeah. So if I just take so a Vibora is starting here, coming round the ball. A bandeja is here, coming down like a forehand volley, and a gancho is like this, over the top.
Like a windmill.
Yeah, like a windmill, exactly. If we're playing, and I play with Abby here, for example, and I hit a really good volley, and you don't have to return this, but I hit a volley into this corner, and I will step in because I'm like, I can really take that. But if she scoops it over my head, like this is your gancho, this is all your gancho. Yeah, and you will play with, you've probably been playing with some bossy left court players that are like, that's mine, but actually it's not, it's your, like, that is your ball, because I am the one, I'm like focusing here, but I'm also focusing on my line. So you will play this ball more often than you think. Like all this zone is a gancho, particularly from that left court, the diagonal. Good. Yeah. Good, bandeja, back in. One more step back with that bandeja. Yeah, here, back, and yes, and now come in, good. Good. Do you see the difference? When we talk about bandeja and vibora, like the contact point is the same, pretty much, right? The difference is vibora, I'm starting behind my head and I'm brushing around it, yeah? And bandeja is I'm starting from higher and I'm coming down it, like a forehand volley. It's the terminology that the Spanish are using, right? Like it's attacking versus defensive. So the vibora, if you look at the path to the ball, right, from a vibora, the contact is here and I'm swinging horizontally round for that ball, right? Like that's my swing. So I've got to time that really well because I'm swinging, like you think the ball is dropping, my racket's coming in from horizontal, so that contact point needs to be here, right? If I'm hitting a bajada, bandeja, my arm is up and my swing path is actually coming down the ball. So now, as the ball's dropping, my angle is actually like this and I've got to contact. So if I'm slightly off, it's much more forgiving, yeah? So when the ball is deeper and it's high and you're back here and it's dropping fast and you try and play a vibora, like you have to time that so incredibly well. And that is why, really, with the exception of probably Sanyo, is the only person I can think of that from the right plays a lot of like vibora shots. Everyone else is hitting bandejas from the right because it's just so, and you're coming across your body. So when that lob goes up, if you think that, you know, forget the terminology bandeja and vibora, if your start point is here and you're swinging round, the timing of that is so difficult. Whereas a high forehand volley coming down, the timing is forgiving. Does that make sense, yeah? Yeah. On this side, it's slightly different because the ball is coming to your open side. So it's a little bit easier in that if you hit here or further away or a little bit from this side, it's much easier. You're playing away from your ball, away from your body, whereas this side, playing across your body, you've also got that rotation as well. Yeah. We're going to be taking more clips from our lessons, so subscribe if you like this content and let us know in the comments which shots you would like to see. When you're playing your overheads from this side of the court and the ball is coming from the cross and you're going to hit that ball back into that cross court direction, you can, and it's absolutely fine to have your contact slightly higher. It's easier for you to play that shot and to be more accurate. So, and this is also where the gancho comes in over the left side of the body in this lane here. But even as your bandeja, it's okay to contact that ball slightly close to the body, slightly higher to control that ball down towards the fence or side glass. When it comes to aiming this bandeja or your gancho, you can aim for a similar part of this side glass. You want to go almost from the second post of the fence up till this separation of the glass here. And if you aim for the ball to bounce and hit this area, it can be really difficult to defend. It either hits the fence and will have an unpredictable bounce, or it hits the glass, but your opponent is not sure if it's going to hit the fence, and therefore it's difficult for them to get in a good position. The other thing I quite like about using bandejas and ganchos from this side is that the mindset is always to recover the net, whereas sometimes when players hit viboras, they think the point is over. So just remember, when you do come back and you play this bandeja or you play a gancho, you recover your net position straight away because you are only setting the point up as opposed to finishing. So to summarize, I'm not saying you will never use the vibora on the right-hand side. I'm just saying that it will happen a smaller percentage of the time, and your bread and butter will be your defensive overheads like your bandeja or your gancho from more down the middle. If you found this useful, please subscribe because every week we're putting out more tutorials to help your paddle. Up here, I'm going to put a video on how you can determine which overhead you should be using, and we dive deeper into that topic.